We will implode more patriotic news. Thank you. Unthinkable. Obama hacked the elections. You won't believe who is involved. According to the Circa News reports from this week, and some intelligence officials who gave their testimony, we now know that Obama and his team spied the American citizens. By virtue of a Circa News report and intelligence officials who testified this week, we are now aware of how much Obama's administration spied on American citizens, however weaponized intelligence against his political rivals, as well, the Trump team, naturally being among them. And MSM still virtually ignores the story. Via NY Post, Circa News, luckily informed us about how the NSA managed by President Barack Obama infracted privacy protections on a daily basis, while lurking through foreign intercepts including U.S. citizens, and was unable to disclose the breaches, making the foreign intelligence surveillance scored a month prior to the election to rebuke administration officials. The story is what's known as upstream data gathering under Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, by which the NSA looks at the electronic communication content. Upstream refers to information acquired by third parties. Person A sends person B an email which mentions person C, though person C isn't a party to the email. His intel will be scooped up and possibly used by the NSA. The number of NSA lookups of Americans surfaced after Obama loosened the protections on disclosing the identities. The FISA court referred to it as a very serious Fourth Amendment issue that NSA analysts, in violation of a 2011 rule change preventing officials from looking through Americans' information without a warrant, had been conducting such queries in violation of that prohibition, with much greater frequency than had been previously disclosed to the court. What do you think of this? Share your opinion. Trump wakes up at Camp David. First thing in the morning he literally blasts Obama. President Donald Trump spent his weekend at the Camp David and he wanted to take little Barron to make him see what Camp Davis is all about. You can tell he is refreshed because of first thing this morning he unloaded on Obama, his favorite target, in a series of devastating tweets. Well, devastating if your name is Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. If you are in America you are giving him a standing ovation. A loud, rousing, all-American standing ovation. Because we are back and despite all the obstruction and roadblocks by the Democrats, Trump is getting his agenda through. And the results speak for themselves and are so loud they drown out even Obama's obnoxious rhetoric. Facts don't lie, Barack, Democrats do. Facts don't lie, Barack, Democrats and the liberal media do. Then, in what can be called a dagger to the heart, he crushed Obama by citing the most accurate poll in America. What do you think of this? Share your opinion. Game changer. Russia's latest statement on U.S. relations shows they are desperate trying to control Trump. 6 months passed after Trump's win and the accusations lean towards collusion with Russia are still front-page news. During this period no material evidence has surfaced suggesting Trump is a puppet to Russian President Vladimir Putin. While the president might fire off brash tweets from time to time, his actual actions imply that he isn't aiming to stop any investigation into Russia. Furthermore, the investigation into the issue has not produced any damning or incriminating evidence of collusion from Trump, hence the relations between the United States and Russia are about to get frosty. Are you wondering too? President Trump's speech on Cuba and ending Obama's policy with the communist state did not sit well with Russia, a country that abandoned communism in the early 90s. Reuters reported that, the Russian Foreign Ministry said on Sunday that anti-Cuban actions recently announced by Washington were regrettable and that Moscow confirmed its solidarity with Havana. The ministry also said that the new approach toward Cuba by the U.S. administration resembles a Cold War rhetoric. Putin has yet to make any comment on America reversing Obama's decision to restore diplomatic and economic relations with Cuba. Sometimes words aren't needed, when the answer is pictured. The Russia conspiracy against Trump just found another dead end. What are your thoughts on this? Comment section below. Breaking: the Pentagon terminated Gowdy's grasp on Hillary. The Clintons have obviously mastered the tactic running out the clock. a tactic they've used over and over and over again since 1978, when Bill Clinton became the youngest governor of Arkansas, and it's occurring that Democrats have been using that exact political tactic of delay, hinder, detain and slow down the investigation on the terror attacks of September 11, 2012, in Benghazi, Libya, with the hope of running out the clock. However, Congressman Gowdy isn't someone easily intimidated or influenced into ending the investigation even before it started until every rock is overturned, perhaps to the dismay of those Democrats sitting on the committee and no doubt with the Obama White House. The false alarm once again raised by Clinton operatives was the original agreed timeline of 2 years, by House Selection Committee in completing the investigation. The main cause of an irritated Gowdy to respond in a fierce letter to Defense Secretary Ash Carter, putting accent on both the Pentagon chief and one of his top lieutenants, intentionally mischaracterizes both the nature of the committee's investigation and its interaction with the Department of Defense. Gowdy added, "It is also riddled with factual inaccuracies, which not only does a disservice to the public but also does a disservice to the women and men who work for the Department of Defense. Your staff is welcome to waste taxpayer dollars writing partisan, factually deficient letters to our committee, coordinate the language with House Democrats, and then leak it to the media. That is your prerogative. There's little doubt that the American people with a glimpse are realizing how corrupt and deceitful our government has become, to the point of attempting to cover up even the murder of 4 brave Americans tasked with protecting America's interest and then being betrayed by those tasked with protecting them. And then stating, what difference does it make? What are your thoughts on this? Comment section below. It's happening. Trump's lawyer surprises the media with an update on the investigation. One of the president's attorneys, Jay Sekulow, provided an update during the appearances on a few Sunday morning political talk shows. He has announced that his client was never under investigation for a conspiracy with Russia. Even though quite a few media outlets had reported, President Trump confirmed in a tweet earlier this week that he was under investigation, Sekulow stated that the tweet was not a confirmation of an investigation, but rather a response to other reports in the media. The above-mentioned tweet from Donald Trump's Twitter read, "I'm being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt." The media might have been shocked by Sekulow's statement, which came after the tweet. In a response to the media, he said that they should have understood the context in which the tweet was presented. The president issued that tweet on social media because of the report in the Huffington Post from 5 anonymous sources, none of which, of course, anyone knows about, alleging that the president was under investigation in this purported expanded probe, Sekulow said on CBS Face the Nation. The fact of the matter is the president has not been and is not under investigation. So this was his response, via Twitter, via social media, was in response to the Washington Post piece with 5 anonymous sources. I want to be really clear about this. The president is not and has not been under investigation, he added, emphasizing that they have never received a notice of investigation. There has been no notification from the special counsel's office that the president is under investigation. He repeated his statements on NBC's Meet the Press, in which he noted that tweet takes, let's say, 15 seconds. This is not taking up the President of the United States day, Sekulow added. So he's responding to what he's seeing in the media in a way in which he thinks is appropriate to talk to those people that put him in office. Sekulow further stated that the administration welcomed the investigation. The president, he said, told James Comey, when James Comey was still the FBI director, and James Comey testified to this, to continue that probe, find out what happened there. He's not worried about this. But there is not an investigation of the President of the United States, period. We would be happy to hear your thoughts and predictions. You will be shocked after seeing who was arrested for committing 103 acts against Trump. An illegal migrant was recently arrested for committing 103 acts of vandalism at the University of Connecticut, where he was a student. It is known that he is also an anti-Trump immigration activist. According to the Breitbart, Eric Cruz Lopez was captured and arrested after he spread hateful graffiti, for example, graffiti such as FK Trump, and Best, the latter of which was his signature mark. Cruz Lopez, who depicted himself as an undocumented immigrant, was a community organizer for Court Students for a Dream, an organization that advocates for undocumented students. A statement had been released from the United We Dream National Immigrant Organization, describing that hooligan Cruz Lopez is a student with DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, after police arrested him at the White House in February 2016. We organize and advocate for the dignity and fair treatment of immigrant youth and families, regardless of immigration status, is the quote United We Dream states on their website. Right after his arrest, Cruz Lopez had given the police a written note that read, "I did the graffiti, and I am open to entering into a conversation about restitution. We would be happy to hear your thoughts and predictions."